here's the big question, the elephant in the room, if you will. Do you improve the school system? Do you improve your schools? Do you create a better learning environment for everybody?
If you close failing schools?
Yeah. And you just take the kids and you take the, well.
Of course.
So
of course.
If you, okay.
Or do the kids bring the school they're going to go to down?
Do you improve your school district simply by closing failing schools? And if you do so, are you saying that the reason the schools are failing has nothing to do with the kids?
That's an interesting point. Is it the school that's failing? Or is it the kids that are failing? Or is it a combination?
I've said a million times, until you solve the sociological problems of institutional poverty and illegitimate birth, you can yell at Dr. Goree all day. You can scream and yell at the teachers from whatever perch or limb or higher ground you're sitting or standing on. But until you deal with those problems, nothing's really going to change. Now, Dr. Goree has come up, and the school board have come up with this idea.
Close Atkins, Lakeshore, Queensborough. Lakeshore's a middle school. The other two are elementaries.
Okay.
And those kids would go to other schools. The Lakeshore middle school kids would go to the new Fair Park Middle School.
And these are 3 currently failing schools.
Failing schools. Yeah, they're in the transformation zone. They're on the list of possible state takeover. So they're deciding it's best if we just close these, send these kids to other schools that are doing better, and let's see if we can do more at those schools.
So this is Dr. Goree at the school board meeting last evening, right? Last night.
Yes.
Explaining the plan, explaining the reorganization.
One of the challenges of any program, such as what we're looking at with this bold plan, is that there will be some affected schools. And if you'll remember, in the conversation around the merger of Fair Park and Fair Park becoming a middle school, we talked about how the 6th grade would then be moved off of the elementary school campuses, and that would create smaller elementary schools. As a result of that, as staff has looked at this over the last few months, it's resulted in the recommendation of the closing of Atkins Elementary School, Queensborough Elementary School, and Lakeshore Middle School. Now, the Lakeshore Middle School, even though it would be, the building would be closed, that body of students would move into the Fair Park High School building so that we can certainly preserve the important history of that school. So in the reconfiguration that we propose, Caddo Parish would create a system that would sustain student growth. Our elementary to K-5 schools within the transformation zone or the transformation next zone would be Caddo Heights, J.S. Clark, Midway, Moortown, Oak Park, Warner Park, Westwood, and Sunset Acres. The middle schools would be Caddo Middle Career and Technology, and Fair Park Middle Schools. And the high schools would be Booker T. Washington and Woodlawn High. You would see pure feeder patterns created for both of the high schools, so that as you saw when we talk about things like mobility, you would see that as students move through the system, they would see very consistent things from one grade level to the next. We looked at this from the perspective and a true concern that I have, not only when I talk to the community, but when I talk to staffs within this body of schools. You often get the question, why are we always the schools that are affected? Why are we always the schools that are closed or reconfigured? And there's a true concern for me. I have a true concern with that as well. So in the design of this plan, we went back to the K-5, the 6 through 8, and the 9 through 12 model. And we did that in large part that we want this to be a plan that makes sense 10 years from now. We want this to be a plan so that we can stop constantly changing the configurations within this same body of schools.